Okay, so today we are going to do, this has a super fancy name. You totally don't have to remember this, but I'm going to tell you because it's fun. It's the TABA concept development. Now that sounds super fancy. Basically, it's a way for us to take a whole bunch of things that we know that we're, like, let's be real. Are you going to remember in like 5 years every single fact you learned for Virginia Studies? No. We don't need you to remember every single little fact, but we kind of want you to remember big ideas, okay? And those big ideas are the things that you're going to remember for forever and ever and ever. Like, I also studied Virginia Studies. It was my favorite subject in school. And I could not tell you all the products and industries in Virginia, but I can tell you that they all work together, right? We all provide something to the state of Virginia. That's kind of a big idea that I remember regardless. So we're gonna do a different big idea, and you guys we're gonna go from lots and lots of things to one thing, okay? So go ahead and put your name on your paper. I might mark it out if I decide to show it to people, but go ahead and put it on there so maybe Miss Bruner can see some of it, because I'm really excited to share this with her. And then I'm gonna tell you a word, and I want you to tell me what you think it means, okay? This is a big word, significance. Anybody have a guess what they think the word significance means? Izzy?
Fantastic.
Okay, fantastic. That's a good guess. Katie?
Like, I have two guesses it might be.
Okay, give me one of them.
Maybe really fancy.
Okay, fancy. I might say that a person of significance in Radford City Schools is Mr. Graham.
Important.
Say it again.
Important.
Important, okay? Importance and significance are basically the same thing. It's just a fancy word for importance, okay? So, you have learned about a lot of really significant people in Virginia Studies, right? Some of them were from a long time ago. I don't think you've studied anybody recent yet, have you? Okay, so, but there's lots of really significant people in history from Virginia, which is one of my favorite things about Virginia. We're cooler than the other states. But anyways, I would like, before we do anything else, you can see on your paper, it says phase 1 is list. We're doing famous figures of significance. That's kind of our overall idea. I want you to list, not by yourself, hang on a second, as many significant people in Virginia that you have studied. It doesn't have to be from your last unit. It can be the whole time you've learned about Virginia Studies, okay? As many significant people in Virginia Studies as you can remember. You are not going to do this by yourself because that's really, really hard. You can turn, well, you can't turn that way, but you can turn to the side and work with someone, or you can turn to the side and work with 2 people. So, like Miss Worrell says, duo or trio, okay? Because it's going to help you later if you have more than one person. Okay, what do you have?
Like if we put the people's names, can we just put like their initials, so we have to put the whole name?
You can put their first name and their last initial if it makes it faster, but you got to at least have their first name. Anybody else have a question?
If you're putting Abraham, you just put A.
You can put A. Yep. Yep. If you can't, with a partner, come up with that many people, yes, but you should be able to come up with at least like 10 to 15 people. Yes, Levi, last question.
Look right there.
Or you can look right here, except not all those are from Virginia. Okay, I am going to give you 1 minute and 30 seconds to do that. If you are someone who is not immediately next to someone and you have to get up to work with someone, that's fine, but remember, please don't turn around that way, okay? Go.
I'm leaving her desk.
Sorry. Oh, I like it. Oh, okay.
We're doing this old school.
Come up to him so that, yeah. Are you working together? Yeah, you can scooch. Yeah, come up here. Except, hang on, stay right there. All right, there you go. I'll look off of their picture. Huh? Work with Sam. I was talking to you. People you've learned about Virginia Studies, they're important or significant. Okay. Look at what he's got so far. Just copy it. She's totally not from Virginia, but you guys have been jamming to the Hamilton soundtrack, haven't you? Yeah.
They are. So like
good question. Can you write people who aren't from Virginia but you've learned about them? Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm about to look them up.
That's fine. Or do you have notes? Don't you guys do notes? Which one's easier? Yes, Sam. Get it close enough. It's just for you. It's not for me. You could even put Alex H if you want to. Alexander. Yeah. It's okay. It's just for you. It's not for me. Okay. Remember, I'm not grading you. Our only goal is to get from all these little ideas to one big idea.
We're going into our next year. We're going into chapter 7.
Yes. Yeah.
Was Harriet Tubman from
Sure. That's fine. It's gonna make it a little bit harder, but that's fine.
We just have to have talk about
What happens if you didn't talk about it? But
James Madison.
That's fine.
His name's U.S. Morgan.
Sure.
Robert E. Lee. Was Harriet Tubman from Virginia?
Nope, but she counts. Yeah. She's significant, right? Basically, anybody you learn about history is significant because otherwise we wouldn't be talking about them. Alright, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds, but don't worry, we're going to try to share some here in just a second. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, so let's start way back. I'm going to help you out here. We're going to go through this really fast. Okay? Way back when Virginia was first founded. Who's an important person? Who's a significant person then? Asa. Way back, like Jamestown. Farther back. Huh?
James Smith.
Not James Smith. John Smith. Yes. John Smith is significant. Who ordered John Smith to come here? King James. Okay. Who did John Smith make friends with to learn how to live here? Pocahontas. Who started tobacco farming? His name was also John. You remember his last name? John Rolfe. Very good. He did marry Pocahontas. You're correct. Who's Pocahontas' dad? Chief Powhatan. Very good. All right. Then we move through colonial Virginia and we get to around the Revolution. Who said, "Give me liberty or give me death"? Patrick Henry. If you don't have him, write him down. Who said that, or actually, do this. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson. We already have George Washington. If you don't have George Washington for significant people in Virginia, you are select.
That was our first time. That was your wife.
That was
our
name,
Who? John Rolfe. Yeah. There was Thomas Jefferson. Who was the father of the Constitution?
James
Madison. Who wrote the Bill of Rights?
George Mason.
Very nice. Who am I forgetting? Who was a spy in the Revolutionary War?
James Lafayette.
James Lafayette. Very good. John Adams is important.
I put James L.A.
That's fine. Abe Lincoln was important. Benjamin Franklin was important or significant. Alexander Hamilton was important or significant. We got Thomas Jefferson, very good. King of England would have been important.
Harriet Tubman.
I don't think you guys have gotten there yet, but yes.
I have on the book.
All right.
John M.
So you should have a decent amount after we listed those. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. If you didn't get all of those, you want to kind of jot them down. You may have others that I did not just say out loud, and that's fine. I know I heard somebody over here say Barack Obama. He's significant. Okay. Sacagawea was significant. Okay. You may not have actively learned about them in Virginia Studies, but they're on your list. We're going to roll with it. Okay. All right. So we have our list. That part's easy, right? They remember lots of important people, by the way.
That's because they are important.
So, what's the fancy word for importance? Okay, so now we are going to move on to phase 2. This is where it gets a little bit trickier, and this is where we're going to start taking all of those many ideas and moving them into one big idea that you're going to remember forever. It is phase 2, group and label. So now, pause, listen to all instructions before you start. With the people around you, you are going to group the people we just listed, okay? I don't care how you do it. I'm not giving you any instruction as to how to do it. You're going to put together the people that you think should be together, okay? And then you're going to label those groups. So let's say, for instance, if I grouped ice cream flavors, I might do vanilla, chocolate, and chocolate chip cookie dough are all sweet, and I might do strawberry, mango, dreamsicle are all fruit. Does that make sense? You're going to group them and label them. There is no right or wrong answer here, okay? It is what you think in your brain with your partner. Everybody good? If you didn't work with a partner before, this is going to be a lot harder, but you can do it by yourself. Yes, Trenton, really fast. Go fast. Go. Group them and label them. Talk about why they go together. That's going to help you. Why would you put certain people together? That might be smarty pants. For it to be a group, it has to have at least 3 members. How many members does it have to have at least? 3. 3. Good job, Coop. Would you like us? Okay, so who would go together?
He was a president.
Very, very big.
Or was he a vice president? He was a president. Give Trenton that idea of the early people, and then maybe you guys can come up with some other ideas together. Trenton, me and Christian just came up with one idea that we can start with. Ask him about it. He was not. Okay, so now, we have to list all of
Yep, you got to use everybody.
Oh.
Haha, there's the trick.
I have way too many people.
I'm crossing the people I
It's
did
okay.
out.
Okay.
Well, we have to do all of them.
Hmm?
You just keep it right. We have to do all of them.
Okay. You can use Amy's list too, because you guys are all working together, basically, right? So she's got grouping them. Okay, so start grouping.
Oh, we did the like at the very beginning. So it's John Smith, people involved with Jamestown. You got John Smith down there somewhere, John Roth?
You're not adding to your list though. Don't add to your list. Use what you got already, okay? You can think of another one you can add. I'll let you slide. You got 3, right? Do you have Abraham Lincoln on there? He gave a very important speech. You guys have got some really creative categories. I kind of dig it. We're going to have to fast forward a little bit so you guys can go to special. So if you don't finish when I say stop, don't freak out, but I'm going to give you like 30 more seconds. Okay. Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. I know. I know. That's why I'm going to try to go as fast as I can for you guys, okay? We're going to put it in hyperdrive. He's not a king, but what could you label that might be people in... So you're trying to do like King James, Chief Powhatan, right? So, or King George. They're not necessarily all kings, but they are all people in one. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. All right, remember, don't freak out if you're not done. Put 10. 9. 8. I can count. I got a college degree. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. All right. Who wants to share one of the cool groups that they've come up with? Asa. Just one. No, your group. What group did he fall under? What did you call them? Okay, so they wrote important documents. That's good. People who wrote important documents. Taylor. People who gave speeches. Very good. Coop. Presidents. Good. Now, Katie, you guys had one that wasn't exactly presidents. You had to creatively think a little bit. What was it? Leaders. Very good. So not just presidents, but also kings and chiefs. Chloe. Strict leaders. All right, so you're splitting your leaders up. Izzy. Native Americans. Very good. People who wrote documents again. Very good. Cora. People who changed the world. Trenton, last one. Jamestown folks. So they went by time period. That's good. Very good. All right, now, what I need you to do, this is another fancy word. It's subsume. That means you put one thing under something else. So, can you put any of your groups together and make one big group?
Yeah. They all went to Virginia.
All right, I'm hearing lots of things. I'm hearing they all lived in Virginia. Maybe not all of them, but you could make a big group of people who lived in Virginia. What's your question, Pace?
You need to have separate groups, or can you only have one group?
You may only have one because we're going to have to kick it into hyperdrive now. But normally you would have more than one, yes. Cora?
People who ruled places.
So people who rule places, that's a big overarching group. What did you say? You said something, didn't you? Leaders? Somebody said leaders. So they already had leaders, but you might have had like kings, presidents, chiefs. You could put them all together under leaders. Very good. Trenton, could you put... You might say people who lived in the 1800s. So that's different time periods, right? That's Civil War. That's also other wars. That's also other time periods. But overall, it's the 1800s. That's very good. Katie.
Can you take like like one of your headings from like the group or label and just keep it the same, but then
Put other people under it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very good. So the point is that you're merging some groups. Okay? Write the title of a group that you could make bigger right now. Just write that title under phase 3. So if you're going to make a big leaders group, or you're going to make a big Virginians group, or you're going to make a big 1800s group, write that label right now. Sure. If you can think of 2, write 2. I know. Is there any way you could put these groups together? What would you put them under? Very good. It's hot in here, y'all. Survive it. All right. Now, phase 4 is the last step.
I thought phase 5.
Well, the last step before, that's the big idea that we're getting to. That's the whole point. Phase 4 is the last step before the very end. That step says regroup. Try to make new groups. Okay? New groups. So people who were together before, break them up. Figure out how they go with other people. How are they significant in different ways? So Thomas Jefferson was a president, but he also wrote a very important document. So you may be able to, he could go in multiple categories, right? So break them up and regroup them. Try to get at least one new group. Okay? Normally you would have 2 or 3, but again, you got to get to PEs. That's kind of important. Guidance. Sorry, guidance. Yes, Sam. Not that I can think of. I like that idea, but I can't think of any. Yes. I can think of documents that led to war, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. They're definitely Treaty of Versailles is one, but you guys haven't gotten there yet. Just go rinse it. Oh, or Band-Aid, yeah. Katie's thinking outside the box over here. She said he did give a speech, but he wrote a lot of documents also. He wrote a lot of documents in prison. While he was in prison. Partly. He's a good man. You just put him okay. Get it. Do B. Obama. B. Obama. Absolutely. A beard category. I like it. You know, if you gotta think outside the box, you gotta think outside the box.
Oh my God.
All right, shh. What is one category we could use that's kind of appearance, but it's also kind of important in history? Women and men, very good. Or Native Americans versus African Americans versus white Americans. That definitely plays a part in history, doesn't it? Yes. Great leaders. All right. Now, we're down to our final step, and you guys have to go to guidance. So this is the last thing. This is phase 5, generalization. Now, I'm going to tell you what a generalization is to save time. Generalization means that it is something that can apply to all of a big group. Okay? So we have listed a lot of significant people. What is something that you could say after you've grouped them, you've put them together, you've regrouped them? What is something that you could say about all of them? It fits about every single person in or on this list. Think in your head first, and then I'm going to see if anybody has any ideas. What is something that would fit every single person in this list, and not just that they're significant? Because we already know that. That's why you listed them. Sam, what do you think?
The men.
Okay, so let's not say all significant people are men, but could we say, hang on, significant people in history that we learn about are almost always what? That's true. Is it right?
No.
Not necessarily, because there were a lot of really important women, but we don't learn about them because the men did all the big stuff.
They take all of our
Okay, hang on. Shh. Taylor.
They were back in history.
Okay, so all of these significant people, not were just in history, but did they create history?
Yeah.
Yes. They were the people who did the things that changed the course of life. Katie.
Old people.
Old people.
So put that in a sentence for me.
Oh, I know.
Hang on. Okay, think about it that way. Keating?
Smart. They're all smart.
Okay, so significant people in history were all smart. That's true. Were they all smart in the same way?
No.
No, they were smart in different ways, but they were all smart. They all made a difference. Who said that? Taylor? They all made a difference in history because they were smart. Cora, last one.
They were great leaders. They showed leadership.
Okay, so all of these significant people in history were great leaders. So when you made your big leader category, you could basically put everybody under it, right? Because they all led someone or something to a greater good, right? Yes, Katie, did you figure that? Let's do it too. Okay, we gotta line up. I like all of those generalizations, but I'm gonna tell you my favorite. Listen, shh, pause. My favorite is combining these two right here. Significant people in history were smart folks who made a difference. I like that generalization. Can you all be smart folks?
Yes.
Can you all make a difference?
I don't know. But yes.
You have the potential to make a difference, absolutely. That is huge and significant, right? All right, please put your papers on Christian's desk and line up for guidance.
Oh, bad.